Recording. Okay. Hi, Lissa. It's Jana, and I am here with Brittinie Wick, and we are going to get started. So I'm going to count us in. 3, 2, 1. Hello, and welcome to Oh My Health. There is hope. I'm your host, Jana Short, and today I'm here with Brittinie Wick. Brittinie is a health and fitness coach that empowers all women through fitness and nutrition to gain confidence, lose weight, and celebrate the feeling of strong and sexy. I love this girl, and I'm so excited you're here today, Brittinie. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
So on the show, the first thing I asked everyone to do is share their powerful story of hope. And I love your story. So do you want to share that with all of us?
Of course. So let me begin. Started like 10 years ago. I joined the Air Force actually right after high school. And it's actually how I met my husband, believe it or not. It was right away. So I've been with him forever. But anyway, so I was in the military. I was an intel analyst. And with that, there was a lot of things that I couldn't obviously talk about due to having a security clearance. And so, and the stigma of not being able to really go seek help or anything because of that mental illness stigma. And it could, greatly impact someone's career because of the security clearance and whatnot. And so at a young age, I seen and experienced a lot of things that I would never wish upon anybody. So there was actually one time, so I was an intel analyst. We did a lot of missions, in the Middle East. And we were stationed in Germany, and one of my friends, I remember I was at work, and I remember someone saying, "Oh, that looks like a bus from Ramstein." And I was like, "Oh my God, it cannot be Zach." Like, I just couldn't, think about it. Like, I was like, there's no possible way that it's Zach. And I found out that there was an Islamic extremist who, saw this video of military members doing horrible things to Middle Eastern women. And he associated that with, factual, like facts. And so he went to the Frankfurt airport and shot my friend in the head. And he also shot someone else. And that caused so much anxiety for me. And I think that's where it triggered my PTSD, because it was so close to home. And just knowing that someone that I cared about was killed because he was associated with the military. And a few months later, my husband, fiance at the time, he got deployed over to Afghanistan. And again, being intel and knowing things or hearing things that I can't talk to anybody else about, I remember going into work and I didn't hear from my husband, well, fiance at the time, for a few days. So he was doing convoys around Afghanistan with the army. So there wasn't a lot of, communication between me and him. And I knew he was at this forward operating base, and I knew he was there. And then I go into work and they briefed us saying that 3 Americans were killed by Islamic extremists at that base. And my heart sank. It was the first thing. It was bright early in the morning. I haven't heard from my fiance. And that's what I go into work, is hearing that there was 3 Americans that were killed at the base that I knew my husband was at. And anxiety just took over. And I just remember going to my supervisor. I was like, can I just go to the gym? And I just remember I got on that treadmill and I just ran. And I hate running. So for me to say that I was just running it, like, oh my God. So I just took off running, and I just kept, tapping it faster and faster. And like, I was just so anxious because I couldn't talk to anyone about it. I couldn't, tell my mom or dad, or, even my close friends, like, hey, this is what happened because it was classified. And so that's how I just went to the gym, and I just ran. And that's where it all triggered. And that's what I know could help women and just anybody with the gym. And if you're dealing with anxiety or like any mental illness, because that also triggered my PTSD, is because, again, so close to home, and I didn't have an outlet. So that was essentially where all my story began. It's just those two situations on why I'm so passionate about just using the gym as an outlet.
So tell me some of the things that doing that helped you with. So I know it helped you with anxiety. Of course, it
Mhm.
helps you like get into shape and feel healthy. But what
Oh,
are some of the things that working out can help alleviate for women?
it's just so a lot of people, and I know I deal with this too, is just body image, right? Like, we are the biggest critiquers of ourselves, and it's just going into the gym and just feeling strong and just working like for yourself. Like, it's the only thing that you could like work on yourself and just build that confidence. Like, it's so much more than just any physical thing. It's just, empowering yourself. Like, can I do this? And, let me just see if I could try that. Like, it's, obviously it helps with the mental, and obviously if you keep going, you're going to have all those physical aspects too, but it's just that empowerment and that confidence, just going into the gym and just, I'm going to keep this PG, but kicking butt. And it's so much more than just, helping alleviate anxiety. It's just the empowering and the empowerment, if you will, and the confidence that it brings.
So do all women have to go to the gym to get this feeling? Because I hate the gym. I feel weird there. I wear a baseball cap and I'd pull it way down. And if someone would talk to me, I'd be like, don't talk to me. Like, I'm just here to work. Just don't talk to me. But I'm never comfortable in the gym. I don't know why, but I feel like you could do this anywhere, right?
Oh, absolutely. Like, it doesn't even, you just have to find something that you enjoy. Like, for me, it's the gym. I'm not a group like fitness person. Like, yeah, I coach that, but like, I prefer to just put my headphones in and just do it myself. But it's just, you got to find something that you enjoy. It could be just walking around the neighborhood with a group of friends, or just trying like different classes like yoga or Pilates. It's just like you could experiment with all these different, you know, exercises, and you can figure out if you do prefer group training or if you want to do it by yourself. But you don't have to physically go to the gym. Just get moving.
One of my favorite things to do, and it was how I got into the best shape I think I was ever in, was boxing. Like, literally, you didn't
Yes.
have to be with anyone else, right? You'd put those gloves on and beat the crap out of a bag, and you're constantly moving. And I'd have my earphones in and I would leave like, yeah, come on. Like, I just dare you, come on up here. But I left feeling strong and powerful. And it was like one of the best workouts I ever had. And I used to have sleeping issues until I started working out like that. And I would, by the time I got home and finished up whatever, I would go to bed at night and I would sleep like a baby. It was like amazing.
Oh, I love boxing. Yeah. Like I said, you just gotta experiment with different kinds of workouts, because boxing, like, I would just have like the most annoying day, and then just like you said, just like punching is just like releases everything, and you're like, okay, I feel so much better.
Someone told me boxing and swimming are two of the best exercises you can do because you use almost every muscle in your body. I don't know if that's true because I'm not an expert, but it felt good. So that's why I did it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a great upper body workout.
So what kind of people are you working with when you're working on training? Because one of the things I love about you is, it's just not one thing for overall health. Like, you have pillars, and it's nutrition and it's sleep and it's hydrating our bodies and, moving toxins from our life and getting good sleep. So what kind of women do you work with?
Just women that just busy women. And I feel like all of us, regardless if, we're stay-at-home moms, because that's a full-time job in itself, or just like the women that work at home. It's just those women that want to feel better and they want to live more of a healthy lifestyle. Because as you know, like I do that holistic approach because nutrition, like just putting certain things in your body is just going to automatically make you feel better. Like if we start putting those processed foods, like that's where we feel sluggish and bloated. And that's why like I'll teach nutrition as the foundation, because just putting whole foods in your body and no quick fixes or fad diets, those drive me crazy. But just whole foods, because just having those whole foods can make you feel so much better. So a lot of the women I work with want that feeling. It just feeling more energized, like having like feeling obviously more confident and empowered, but just living a healthier lifestyle.
I love it. One of the things that I notice, and because you talk about working moms or stay-at-home moms, I have noticed a trend, and by the way, it happened to me, so I completely get it. But they have a baby, they get almost back in shape, maybe they kept an extra 10 or 15 pounds, and then they have another baby, and they maybe added another 5 pounds. And I notice that they're looking tired. And by the way, your mom's raising kids. I was there, so I get it. And I had 3 of them that were like 9.5 months apart. So I remember thinking the worst about myself though at that point in my life, because I was always tired. You don't feel pretty anymore. You feel like you're either feeding a baby from your breast or cleaning up a poopy diaper or trying to make, food. You're just not a beautiful person anymore. But the thing is, being a mom, being a wife, it is the most beautiful you could ever be. But how would you help women maybe get out of that mindset? Because they don't feel the same. Their bodies are now being used to give life to somebody, it's different.
It is so true. And as you know, like I'm actually experiencing that right now. Like I have my son's almost 2 and I have a 2.5 month. Oh my God, I can't believe it's already been that long. A 2.5 month old. And I get it. Like half the time, like this is probably the first time I wore makeup in 3 months. And like I get it, just like that tired, and especially with daylight savings, Lord forbid, like they need to get rid of that. But so I get it, and it's just you have to like prioritize yourself first. And I know it's so hard for us women to do that. We're nurturing, we're caring, like we're caretakers. So we always want to take care of everyone first, but we have to take care of ourselves first. And whether that's just decompressing and meditating for 10 minutes, so to like recenter, or just like napping when the kids are napping, or just finding time to just walk outside without the kids. And I know that's so hard sometimes, or just even with the kids, but just focusing on, even if it's like 10 minutes, like try to figure out how to center yourself and to like get yourself to feel better, because sometimes we just need to make sure that we are a priority. And I think sometimes, like I said, it's just so hard for us because we're those caretakers. We want to take care of everyone else, but how can we properly give ourselves if we can't take care of ourselves first? Like if we're not feeling 100%.
Brittinie, I can totally remember being the kids all having the flu and me catching it and crying. Like, have you seen that commercial where the guy walks into the bedroom to his child in a crib and says, "Look, I'm calling in tomorrow. I'm not feeling great, so I won't be here." Right. And I'm like, can I just ever be sick by myself? I just want to lay down. But no, one's throwing up. The other one needs 7-Up. Right. And so you feel like you never can take care of yourself. And in those instances, you probably can't. Here's the thing. It is not selfish to take care of yourself and show up for those children and your husband and your friends and at your job the best person you can possibly be, because you feel good. So what are a couple of tips that you could give women to like start taking those baby steps? I know you gave a few tips about spending that 5 minutes meditating or getting outdoors or something that you really enjoy. I used to love to read, and the kids would always find me locked in a closet reading a book with a flashlight because I could get lost in somebody's story and absorb, but reading was my passion. What are some things that you can help, give tips that they can do?
You just start small, because I know like a lot of women too, like, and not even just new moms, but a lot of women, we're always like that all or nothing. Like we're just so gung-ho and we always want to do like everything real quick, and that's how like we get burnt so quickly, like burnt out. And that's my biggest tip, is just ease into it. Like it doesn't even have to be an hour long. Like, and sometimes like we get in this mentality like, oh, I don't have an hour to myself. I'll just push it to the back burner. Like, even if it's like 15, 20 minutes, or even if it's 10 minutes, whatever, just ease into it, because just starting off, like, you need that time, like, regardless. Like, I work out when the kids are napping. And does that always happen? No. But like, I try to coordinate it where both the kids are sleeping. I go out in the garage, and I would love an hour workout, but sometimes it's only 20 minutes. And I'm like, you know what? It's the best I could do. And sometimes it's just trying your best. And it's not always go for progress, not perfection. And I know that's so cliche, like everyone says that, but it's so true. Like, you're not going to progress or make any progress unless you're at least constantly doing those baby steps. Just
That's a
get that
great
whole
tip.
all or nothing mentality out of the way. Like, that's one of the things that I want to change in women, is just ditching that all or nothing mentality. Like, I can't tell you how many times I hear that. Oh, I don't have an hour, I won't do it today.
I honestly think that's why most women fail at diets. First of all, I hate that word because all diet means is what we stick in our mouth, right? We can have a diet of meat, a diet of chicken. It's just what we're consuming. So it's gotten commercialized where diet means something you're drastically doing to change your body type. And it's just not what diet is. But I love that women who are thinking about this and changing things, it's all or nothing when they go on a diet. And so if they make one mistake, I failed, and I can't do this because I failed. And you don't fail, right? You get back up, you
Yep.
start over, and you're like, you're allowed to live, you're allowed to have birthday cake, you're allowed to have ice cream. You're just not going to have a full meal of birthday cake or ice cream anymore, right?
Yeah, that's honestly something I tell people all the time. They're like, "Oh, well, I already messed up at lunch, screw it. I'm going to eat whatever for dinner." And I'm like, "No, no, no, no. Like, okay, enjoy life." Yeah, like, I'm a wino. Like, I will drink a glass or two or a bottle. But, like, I will have that, but it's going right back to eating healthy or eating those whole foods like the next meal. Like, just stop the all or nothing. Like, live life. Like, I'm not going to give up my wine, but the next meal I'm putting, say it's breakfast, I'm having those eggs and vegetables and oatmeal or whatever I eat in the morning.
So I think because you were in the military is one of the reasons that you are so great at this, because there's something to be said about structure. There's something to be said about planning ahead for your healthy lifestyle. When you go to the
Mhm.
store, have a list. When you're planning meals, do a lot of prep work so that you're not exhausted. You just grab the easy stuff, like I'll just order pizza. You've already got it ready to go. So how would you give some great ideas on like preparing for that new healthy lifestyle? Because I really do believe that there is something to be said about organization. Like, I'm OCD, but seriously, on Sundays, I prep all my food. I cut vegetables so that I just throw them in the pan, stir fry them or whatever. I kind of know where I'm going with it. And yeah, that wrench gets thrown in every once in a while. I'm like, I'm just too exhausted. I'm not doing that. I'm going to have some eggs for dinner instead, or something easy, right? But it doesn't matter because it's there for me if I choose to do it, and it's all ready to go.
Oh yeah, that's what I always tell people is find one day, because life happens, right? Like, if say you're working overtime or the kids or whatever, like, you can't cook dinner, like, just find a day where you could just cut all your vegetables, cook all your chicken or whatever you're prepping for the week, and just store it in the fridge. Because, again, just having it all prepared, you're going to be better off and like have more success throughout the week. And anytime that you do go grocery shopping, always stay like on the outside of the store, because that's where all the whole foods are going to be. So like your vegetables. Vegetables are so low in like calories. Like, just stock up on vegetables. Like, I can't tell you how much vegetables we eat in this family now. I'm getting my son to eat blueberries, so I'm taking that as a huge win.
Yay.
Oh man, I know. Oh, and fruit doesn't make you fat. Like, that's like a very common misconception that I hear a lot. So yes, stock up on fruit too.
So I
But
don't hear that fruit makes you fat, but I do have people who are diabetic that say they have to limit their fruit. And I don't know if it's the same kind of sugars because that's not my area of expertise. Do you know?
So I know it's usually more of like the simple carbs.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not gonna get too sciencey on you, but yeah, because I'm not a dietitian. I'm just a nutritionist. But so diabetics, I'm not 100% expert on that. But yeah, I actually did hear like a lot of people are like, oh, I can't have fruit. It makes me fat. There's too much sugar. And I'm
Right.
like, no, no, it is okay. It is nature's fruit or nature's what is it? Nature's candy. There you go. It's nature's candy.
I
Just
love it.
stock up.
One of the other things I would tell people to do, and I think you're perfect for this, is get an accountability person. So get a coach, get somebody that is holding you accountable. Here's the thing about getting a friend though. Have you ever got a friend to work out with you? And then you do like the first week and everything's great. And then she calls us, hey, I'm gonna have to cut out. I got something that came up. And so you're like, great, I'm not going. And then the next week, well, you know what? And pretty soon you're doing exactly what she does. So it either has to be a friend that's gonna kick your butt. And I don't know, I always had that friend that's like, oh, I can't make it today. Well, then I'm not going. And so I can blame her for me not going. So find somebody that's an accountability person, like connect with a coach like Brittinie, like somebody's going to hold you accountable and say, fine, the only person you're hitting when you don't go is you. So if you choose to not go, don't go. But if you want to hit that goal, girl, you got to be in there.
Yes, yes. I mean, obviously it helps me if, people come to me. But I always say that too, like, even if it's not a coach, you have to find that accountability person because it's just so easy to push it back, like you said, on that back burner and just be like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. But if you have someone to like hold you accountable, you're gonna be more successful. And even thinking about those goals, like you have to have that why. Like, why do you want to do it so much? Like, why is it so important? Because, like, obviously, like, as a coach, I constantly hear, oh, I want to lose weight. But why is that important to you? Like, let's make that a little bit more specific. And I always say, like, once you find that why, find someone, like you said, that accountability person, because then you're going to stick with it more.
Well, the person who has their vision and their why are the ones that are always successful. So I'm going to give you a visual of that. You go to the gym in January because everybody's getting the new bods in January, right? That's their resolution. I'm going to drop 20 pounds. I'm going to go to the gym every day. And then that's in January. By February, middle of February, Valentine's Day, they're done. They're like maybe filtering through. You know who's in the gym in June? That bride who can visually see herself in that gorgeous wedding dress. And she's been dreaming about being a bride for years. And she's going to get like as small as she can get or as comfortable as she can in that dress. And she's there in June still working her butt off, sweating so that she can fit in that dress because she has a vision of herself in that
Yep.
dress going down the aisle since she was a little girl. Get a vision that's that powerful for you to push you through. I used to hang clothes in my house that I couldn't fit into, and I went and spent money on, and they'd be there, and I'd push them out of the way, but they were always right in my face. And then finally one day I'm like, I wonder if that'll fit. And it always is either too big or it fits. But it was that visual that I want to be seen in that. I want to wear that. I want to feel that on my skin and look really great in it. So getting a visual is super important and knowing your why, like what your why is, not just I need to lose 20 pounds. Even when they say, I just want to get healthy, why? Like, why?
Yeah. Just keep asking yourself that until like you find that like deep passion. Like, so like when those days that you don't want to work out or you don't want to eat healthy, you remember that why and you're like, okay, you know what, I gotta stick with it. So yeah, I agree. Like you have to have that vision. You have to constantly keep asking yourself why is it important? Because like I said, I hear all the time, oh, I want to lose weight, but then that's the extent and then nothing changes. They just go through the whole year just not progressing or anything when time is going to pass anyway. So why don't you find your why, make those small steps, because those small steps are going to make those big changes.
Sometimes too, I think that when we set goals for ourselves, so a goal is I might want to lose, I don't know, 50 pounds someday. And that goal isn't going to happen tomorrow. So make those little teeny goals, right? This week, I just want to stick to my diet and drink more fluids, right? I want to drink more water. The next week, I want to, do this. And at some point it's like, I'll lose a pound here and I'll lose a pound there. I know a lady who lost 300 pounds and she said, I only did 5 pounds at a time because I could not wrap my mind around having to lose 300 pounds. It just, even when I lost 50 pounds, I'd be like, I lost 50 pounds. They'd be like, really? I didn't notice, right? And she's like, my heart would just sink. So I'm like, I just lost 300 pounds, 5 pounds at a time, one step at a time, until next thing I knew, people were like, what did you do? But I remember her telling me I lost 50 pounds and nobody noticed. They were like, and it was a hard 50 pounds.
Oh yeah, any weight is hard. I'm trying to lose this baby weight now, and it's like the scale's not moving. And I know, like, I tell like people all the time, don't focus on the scale, and I have to like constantly remind my own self, like, just keep making progress. Like, keep eating healthy, keep working out, because you'll see it in the future. Like 2 weeks down the road, if you do progress photos, which I always highly recommend, like then you'll see the changes. Like, trust me, this scale has barely moved the last month, but like the pictures show something completely different. So yeah, absolutely, I agree. Like those small goals, you just got to keep going. Don't look back. You're not going back that way.
And if you don't hit those goals, that's not failure, right? It's just not. It means you didn't hit that goal. If you're showing up, like you said, a month, you don't feel like the scale has moved, but you're still showing up, you're still doing, that's success. That is success.
Yes. And I think like I said, it's just that all or nothing mentality that we always get so stuck on. Like, ditch it. Like you said, just keep making progress, because then before you know it, looking back, you're like, oh wow, I did lose those 20 pounds. Just keep showing up, because like I said, you're not going back there.
I love it.
Forward.
I want you to tell everyone how they can find you, because I think you're amazing. I think you guys are going to love her stuff. And she does some great videos on social media that I'm crazy obsessing over it. Although I have to change it a little bit because I'm not young anymore, but it's still stuff I can do.
Yeah. First off, age is just a number. All right.
A big number that.
Yeah. Oh, girl, I love you. Yeah. So you can find me on Instagram at Brittinie Wick _fitness. I have a couple Facebook pages. My business one is Brittinie Wick Fitness. So my name is spelt weird. You could thank my dad for that one. So it is INIE. There's no A in there. So just make sure you spell it right to find me. Otherwise, you could always email me at brittiniewick@gmail.com.
All of her information is going to be in the show notes too, so you can just click and be right in her space. I know you have a freebie too, the 3 steps towards body confidence, and I will put the link in there. Do you want to tell anyone about what that's about?
Yes. So
am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it's a mouthful. Yeah. So like I said earlier, like with us women, like, and even guys too, like we just deal with that body confidence sometimes, like after having, again, me being postpartum, just seeing myself and just like not feeling attractive, even though I just birthed this beautiful child. It's just like looking at myself sometimes and it's just like, oh my God, like this isn't my body, but it is. And it's just, so my steps are, which I strongly encourage you to sign up for. It's just kind of breaking through that mentality, because mindset is so huge, and ways to overcome those negative thoughts and to gain that body confidence, because regardless, like your body didn't go anywhere, and you just got to embrace your body through any kind of thing, like postpartum, pregnancy, or just illness or whatever. Like we always have those confidence issues sometimes. So my biggest thing is just overcoming that, working on that mindset, and just embracing you and be thankful for your body for how it is.
I love it. We're finishing up, but I want to ask this question because it popped up in my head and maybe you have the answer. I don't know. Why is it women are the only ones that really suffer from body image? Guys just don't. Like, they just step out of the shower. I don't care what they look like. And we're like jumping into the towel, wrapping up real quick so no one looks at it. Why is that, do you think?
honestly, I think it's social media and then just like kind of like Hollywood. I mean, because we always like, all the women, oh, they look so great in that dress. And like, we always put like, I don't even know if this is really like the right word, but we always put like women in a different category than guys. Like, oh, she looks fat in that dress, or oh, she looks too skinny. And then that's like, oh, well, do I look fat in this dress? And then it's just like, just hearing those things, like people could get so mean on those comments. And just guys, I don't think really care, but with women, like we are a little bit more self-conscious. And so like, I think that it plays a huge, part in why like we deal with that confidence, is because like women are always kind of based on their looks. And I hate to say that because women are so much more than just looks. But I feel like for so long, that's what we were judged on. And so that's where I think all that like confidence and self-esteem issues come from.
I don't know. I live in Studio City. I'm surrounded by celebrities. Everybody here is really beautiful. And I'll be sitting at Starbucks and I'm pretty confident. Like, I'm older. As you get older, you do get more confidence because you're like, I just don't care what you think. But I'll be sitting there having coffee and I'll look up and they just start coming in and they're more gorgeous after the next. And I literally start shriveling down like, oh my gosh. So I totally get it. Like we have to stop comparing ourselves to other people.
Yes.
We are beautiful with all of our gorgeous flaws, just exactly the way we are.
Absolutely. And honestly, some of those social media accounts, that's Photoshop too. Like, let's be real. And they don't always look that good either, like all the time. Yes, they're beautiful, but trust me, if they're moms, there's no way they're looking like that, every single day. Trust me, I know. I'm looking like a hot mess all the time.
Brittinie, thank you so much for being on the show. I had a blast talking to you. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me.